Okay, greetings traders, and thanks for joining with us today. We're having a special webinar today on the crude oil contract. Now, this is Boomerang Day Trader, and before we get started, please read the risk disclosure and understand about futures trading. That is a risky business, and risk capital is money that you would use that can be lost without jeopardizing your financial security or lifestyle. Just keep that in mind as you understand the risk disclosure statement. We always post this because we want you to be aware of the futures business, and it can be very exciting and fun when you're making winning trades, a little bit debilitating if you have losing trades, but along the way, if you can turn it into a nice business, which I'm going to show you how to do today, then it can be quite a pleasant lifestyle. My name is Mohan, and I developed the Boomerang Day Trader system approximately 8 or 9 years ago, somewhere around then. I seem to forget exactly. But we released it to the public, and it's had a couple of modifications, but it's basically the same as the one I fully updated in 2011. So here we are about 6 years later, 6.5 years later, and just still going very tremendously. I use it every day myself to trade. I have a live trading room where we trade with Boomerang every day. So everything that I'm going to be showing you today is documented in the live trading room as well. And you can access our Day Traders Action live trading room by just going to daytradersaction.com, and you can find the information there. Here's the thing with trading and with Boomerang and everything. There are many systems out there, and you probably get flooded with emails and different things about trading systems and all that. But I would like to ask you this: can any of those systems promise you that you will get 90% winning trade setups from the software? Now, that doesn't mean the person themselves will get 90% winning trades. Nobody can guarantee that, of course, and we're not allowed to guarantee that. But I, as a software developer, I can promise you that you will get 90% winning trade setups over the software over time. And if for any reason you don't believe me after watching this webinar, which I think you will, we invite you to come into my live room and watch it being traded live every day, and that'll even more confirm to you what a great system it is. I developed Boomerang after studying systems and searching the internet for about 10 years. It became a hobby. I don't do it as much anymore. Because I love the business and I'm totally entrenched in it, I just really still like to look at everything that I can. But I'm not as active as I was in the past. And the point is that after looking around for so long, I just wasn't happy with anything that I saw out there. So I developed Boomerang, our own system, and I figured if I just develop my own and put all the ingredients in there that I want and see that it really, really works, then I'll have something really legitimate to offer to the trading community. And that's what I've done, and thanks to you and all the thousands of traders around the world, we've had just a tremendous success offering Boomerang training, doing these trainings every bi-Wednesday, every bi-weekly, and just assisting traders that really want to get into the futures business and learning how to work the business to get into the markets. Now, the funny thing about this business is that most people, I'm just taking a little aside here because I want to talk about this. It's really important. It's very strange. Most people, if they decide they want to run a pizza parlor, for example, and they got some extra capital, they can start their own pizza parlor, just learning how the business from the ground up. I use that as a reference because I started a pizza business when I was very young, and I learned it from the ground up by working initially at a well-known delivery company. And well, lo and behold, I learned everything from the ground up, and if I had to, I could go out and start a pizza business tomorrow. But it's expensive, like any business you start. You have to lease the building, put the ovens in, right? You have to get all the ingredients. You have to have a refrigerator to store those in so they're nice and fresh, especially if you're carrying salads as well. And you have to make sure the salads stay fresh and don't get brown. Every couple days they will. So it's a very timely, time-invested business as well as capital to keep it running. Well, similarly, in our futures business, You have capital that you need to buy a system like Boomerang and lease a software to run it on, such as our NinjaTrader that we work with. Or you also need to realize that there is a massive time investment to learn how to use a proven system. The first step is to find a proven system that really, really works, that you're comfortable with, and then get into using that system, put the time in to learn how to use it, and then trade it on your simulator for some time and then in real time. And it's just experience and time in the market, similar to running a pizza business or any business. Well, here's the thing that really amazed me that I want to say as a side trip. I don't know why, but for some reason, a lot of people, if you walked up to them and said, hey, you want to open up a pizza parlor and go in the pizza business? The vast majority of them say, I don't know, probably not of interest to me. I'm more interested in technology or this or that or whatever their reason be. Or no, I want to do this or that. Or I want to be a swimming instructor. Or no, I want to work at an iPhone store. You get a myriad of answers, right? But for some reason, everybody thinks they want to be a trader, or they think that they should be a trader because a lot of the stuff on the television tries to tell them that, like the goofy little baby ads, if you remember from E-Trade, used to say, oh, the image is that even a goofy little baby with a cell phone and a crib can trade on E-Trade and make a lot of money. They've since got rid of those commercials, thank God, and now they have a commercial I saw recently of this kind of goofy guy on a big, massive yacht, one of these $100 million type yachts, and he's jumping around in the yacht, and girls are dancing around on it, and guys are there partying and whooping it up, and he's saying, get revenge on this and that. And then it was an E-Trade ad again. These people are notorious for doing that. But so in our industry, we get all kinds of people who think they want to trade for some reason without really looking into it. Maybe they think because there's all these numbers and things flying around that it's really cool and that it's a cool thing to be in. But I'm telling you right now, just like saying, would you like to start a pizza parlor and do that? Trading is not for everybody. It's only for certain people who have a knack for that. Not just because you want to make money. If you want to make money, there are a lot of easier ways to make money than trading in the futures markets. Trading is a very difficult business. So with that in mind, I just wanted to start out by saying that. So I developed Boomerang Day Trader for those who really have decided after studying on the internet and things like that they want to be in the trading business. And the first lesson in trading is, I'll save you many years right here now. Don't just become an indicator-aholic or a webinar-aholic. You have to study the industry a little bit, but the first thing you want to be focusing on, once you figured out what futures trading it is, you learn about ticks and you learn about time frames, about brokerages, how to execute on trade platforms and stuff like that, is to find a proven system that really, really works. And that's what we offer with Boomerang Day Trader. So let me show you exactly how Boomerang works. Now today, and this is a day trading system. You're going to be in and out during the day, and you'll be out at the end of the day. So you're never carrying a position overnight, so you don't have to worry about the extreme risk of doing that. Now the thing is with Boomerang is that I'm demonstrating today the crude oil contract, which is one of the best day trading contracts on Boomerang. It's absolutely astounding. And I'll be going over some figures of the results we had this month in our live trading room, the Day Traders Action live trading room, trading crude oil, which we do every single day in the room. We identify the setups like I'm going to show you right now, and we trade those setups when they occur. Now I also trade the mini NASDAQ in the room as well, and we've had the same excellent results there. I want to tell you something though, anytime you're trading stock indexes, which one of those is the mini NASDAQ, you have a lot more influence in that contract than with crude oil. Crude oil is one product, one contract, very active, but I'm saying that with a stock index, you not only have all these different, giant pension funds and different things that are involved in that market, you have the Federal Reserve in there pushing the prices around, literally manipulating the prices, and you have different things going on with hedge funds and other people that are involved in those contracts. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be a slightly different animal, and that's one thing that's really good about crude oil, is if you specialize in crude oil with Boomerang, you're going to have a lot of very smooth trading if you follow the exact method. Let me show you how that works. Now, I'm assuming you're already experienced in futures, so this is going to be a little bit easy for you to understand. What we have here, this is a chart of crude oil, and the default amount we use is 450 ticks for trading crude oil. Now, the best thing to do is, rather than try to use your ideas about trading other time frames and all that, learn to trade the proven system first, put some money in your pocket following the proven system, and I can practically guarantee you that you're not going to want to go back to your old ways of ideas that brought you to this webinar, because in many cases, listening in here, if you're brand new and never heard of Boomerang before, you're losing at trading, or you've had a very difficult time, and now you want to find a solution to that. Well, that's what we offer with Boomerang Day Trader. So don't try to apply your old losing methods onto Boomerang, but instead just follow along with what I say, and I'll try to give you some really good advice on this. Now, I've been trading myself for 27 years. That's a long time trading the futures market. That's longer than most people that we find that are currently out there trying to offer you different systems and stuff. Sometimes they'll brag. I hear this and I kind of chuckle. Oh, I've been trading for 5 years, and I laugh. I go, you haven't seen anything. You didn't even see the 2008-2009 debacle from the so-called banker bailout and all this stuff in the futures markets, in the stock indexes. 5 years, you haven't seen much at all. So I'm just trying to say that over 27 years, I've seen a lot of different stuff happening. But truly, what we're seeing now is very unique and unusual. More on that later. So getting into this here, here's crude oil. And these are called, see these shaded areas here? These are called trade channels. Now I'm using a cursor so I can identify prices over here and when I'm moving the cursor. The unique thing about Boomerang is we start out, we have a trade channel that opens up. See this arrow here? There's another one up here. We have a trade channel that opens up. And then we have this very thin line running through. It's called a trade signal line, which colors the candles here. And it allows us to tell what is the bias of the market just by looking at the color of these candles. Now these are candlesticks, so some of them are hollow and some are solid. The hollow ones are the bullish ones, and the solid ones are the ones that are pulling back. You see that? Or if you're in the middle, you have bullish ones going up, solid ones going down. And then if you get on a roll on the upside, for example, here, they're all hollow. That's what we recommend to use on Boomerang Day Trader is candlesticks on a 450 tick chart. So within the Boomerang system, we also have this thicker dotted line running through, which I call the cobra. Because cobras, I've traveled a lot to the Far East, and you see the cobras out there sometime. Of course, you don't want to get too close to them, but I've been close enough to see them how they move, and they slither across the ground. That's how they move, by moving their body in a slithering way, and they're able to roll across the ground. So the cobra is named after our pals, the cobra snake, in that it moves up and moves along through these other trend bands here to give us an idea of the bias. Now the cobra will front run these other two bands here known as the dynamic trend bands. This is dynamic trend band number 1 here, and this is dynamic trend band number 2. Alongside of that, we also have this configuration here, which is a part of my new program called the Boomerang Roadmap, and I call these the price pressure bands. And I'll show you more how we use these to set up trades and stay in trades, and they work beautiful also if you want to try to hold for longer move. Now keep in mind, on crude oil we're only scalping for 10 ticks, or I like to say 8 to 10 ticks. That little range, when you get in an entry, You're only going to look for an 8 to 10 tick pop on that trade and exit the trade with an $80 to $100 bill in your pocket if you took a live trade with one contract. And if you took two contracts, then it's going to be double that. Also double the loss if you have to get out of the trade. But here's how it works. Real simple here. You have a buy arrow pointing up, showing that the buy trade channel is opening up here. You see that? That's this shaded area here. And if you notice, just as a side note here, that trade channel continues all the way up here. But that's not important. I'm just trying to show you that. So what we do is we look for a buy or sell channel to open. And the essence of it is this simple. All we're looking for is the dynamic trend bands to match color, or for the dynamic trend band number 1, which is this dashed dotted line, to cross over dynamic trend band number 2 for an upside trade, or cross under for a downside trade. We'll get to some of those in a minute. So if they match before that, then you're fine. You can take the trade. And if they don't match, then you're waiting for them to cross over. Pretty simple, isn't it? So here's your channel opening here. And here's the market starts running up, and you notice when it gets right to this candle here, the dynamic trend bands are matching color. Therefore, this dot prints instantly in a millisecond on the signal line. And you go over to your chart trader that you're using on your trading platform, and you click buy at the market. In trading with Boomerang, we just use buy or sell at the market and then close out the trade to exit. Now, if you want to get a little fancier, you can try to run a limit order on the signal line, but it's usually preferable, if you're going to do that, put it a tick higher, because a lot of times they'll go right to the signal line, tap on that, and it may or may not fill. But you want to get in that trade, so it's very simple. We just look up here and you click buy at the market, and notice here now the price is 43.31, and this trade signal, the fact that this trade signal line, there's this blue dot here, that means that it absolutely did hit that price. So hitting that price, you go long here, and 32 runs up to 43. That's 11 ticks. 30, 32, 31, let's say 31, it's actually 31. 31 plus 12 is 43, and we're looking to scalp 8 to 10 ticks in there. You see that? It's that simple. And that all occurred in about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. You got in the market, you got out. Now that's exciting to make $100 in 2 or 3 minutes, but for us it's just part of our day-to-day work that we do. Not a big deal. Now that's what's called a level 1, a first level trade. So the market keeps moving higher, and that's fine. And then we have here a situation where the candles turn red, the bearish color, and they reverse. And at one point, we get a trade channel reversal arrow showing a new trade channel on the sell side is getting ready to open. And what we're watching for is to see if that opens, or it's just a temporary roadblock in the upside, and that they're going to switch back to a buy channel, which, if it will, it'll be known as a second level trade, and they're extremely reliable. And the way those work is all you're looking for is for this to fail in here, this counter sell channel to fail, a new buy channel arrow to open up. We look down here at the tick counter and we watch the ticks count off, and as soon as that candle closes, you're therefore on a second level trade permissioned by the system. That's right, it's very disciplined. You don't just trade on the seat of your pants or on a whim like you may have been doing and losing, winning once in a while, mostly losing, let's be honest here. But the system tells you, pay attention, I'm now opening a new buy channel you see the ticks in, it's going to throw you into the next candle, and on that next candle or within the next couple candles, you want to buy a pullback signal line. So here comes a blue dot right at the signal line, and you do the same exact thing. You go up here and you buy again, you get long, and the long position was there from 54. The price is scalped right up to 67, just slammed straight to the upside, giving you another 10 ticks on that trade. This one was even faster. It was within about a minute, that buy trade. And that's the second level trades are extremely reliable. Some of my favorite trades with crude oil are those second level trades. Very reliable. Now also, something I forgot to mention is when we get a buy signal, we want to watch for this price pressure band to open on the upside if it's a buy trade, on the downside if it's a sell trade, and for one of the candles to tap this white line, usually is also good confirmation. Then you buy the pullback signal line. Now on a second level trade, that is not required. Although it's nice, ideal if it happens, it's great, but it's not required on second level trades. So you see what we did there within this one time stretch from the opening, or right around, it was right around the time of the open of the New York Stock Exchange, which is unrelated to crude oil. So although, you know, that being open will have a little bit of influence, but crude oil trades around the clock. So here's a trade just about 5 minutes before the market opened in the New York Stock Exchange. Now the New York Mercantile is out of New York. That's the crude oil contract exchange. But I'm just saying, I was referencing the opening of the stock exchange there. And so within literally about a half an hour, you had two winning trades on Boomerang, and you made approximately 10 ticks on each one, 8 to 10 ticks, which is at $10 a tick. You do the math, and it's approximately $80 to $100 per trade. Do you see how that works? Now, I don't want to shock you, but that's all there is to Boomerang. You don't have to stretch your brain and become this Megatron technoid person to get into it and figure all this out. That's all you really need. We needed to see the dynamic trend band. I forgot to mention too, the second level opens up, and after the sell reversal, there's no trade there because the dynamic trend bands are still the bullish color, but they have to remain the bullish color, of course, when you enter that second level trade. So all of a sudden the market starts reversing. You get sell candles coming in, and the prices come down, and they're moving lower, right? And they come in here and they tap the Bollinger Band right here. You see that? That's where they tap the Bollinger Band. The price pressure bands opened up right in here. You can see they were already open, but it's always nice if you see them open and or a tap on the Bollinger Band. But what we had here is the cross under came right in here. You see how the dynamic trend bands are crossing under? That's your signal to go in right here and go short at the market at 64, and 64 gets blasted down lower immediately with no pressure on the stop or anything like that. Now, by the way, on crude oil, we're using a 13 tick stop on the entry, what I call an airbag stop. That is a stop that I like to say, when just like you have an airbag in your car, you know, that prevents your head from going the window in a really severe crash. Now, when that airbag blows up in your face, it might tweak your neck a little. You might need a chiropractic adjustment or something afterwards. You know, rest for a day, but you're going to be all right. If your head goes through the window, you're going to have big problems, and unfortunately, we don't want that to happen in our futures trading. So we use an airbag stop, but I deploy methods which I won't go over today, but I deploy methods that I can show you in a live trading environment. If you're highly interested in purchasing Boomerang, email me and let me know, and I'll be glad to show you exactly how we deploy live methods for reducing the stops. Now, by the way, just as a quick side note, and I'll go over these in a few minutes, in the month of July so far, we're not quite closed out the month yet, but pretty close to that, we haven't had any of the trades get hit for 13 tick stop. We've had 5 of them that I stopped out for -3 ticks and 1 for -7. And that was it. All the rest were winners. A total of 56 winning trade setups and those small losses there. So there is a very good method I can teach you to deploy for tightening the stop and all that kind of stuff. Feel free to email me at mohan@daytradersaction. I'll show you exactly how we do that. So here's another winning trade for 10 ticks. You see that? You're short here at 65. 65 comes right down to 55 right here at 56 here. You would have scalped 8 ticks here, or held it just a smidgen longer and they would have come down and blasted right into the 10 tick level. Let me show you another one. Now here's a case, and boy, that crude oil can run. So when you take your 10 ticks, don't worry about the rest of the move. That's a different program, and we can show you more on that on a different occasion. But right now you just want to get profitable and get your trading life together. If you've been trading a while and experiencing frustration or lost trades or just kind of the break-even syndrome, we can help you with that using Boomerang Day Trader. Here's a trade here, for example, and for some reason that nobody really is going to know exactly, this market on this day, when they were done making this small sell-off and they turned up, the buy channel opened, there was a rapid fire pullback to the signal line, which printed a dot there, and they shot up higher and they never looked back. There were no further pullbacks to the signal line. We measure pullbacks within the first 6 candles, and you ideally want, the best entries are usually within 4 candles to 5 off of the trade signal line arrow. You see here 1, 2, 3, 4, that came in on the 4th candle. This one here came on the 2nd candle. This one here came a 1, 2, 3, came on the 4th candle. You see how that works? 4, maybe 6, but generally the closer the pullback signal line is to the buy arrow or sell arrow opening the channel, the better the trade's going to be. It's going to be less of a grind. But this one just took off like a rocket ship to the moon, and there was nothing else to do. Well, lo and behold, in spite of the big run-up, you had the counter move, right? And you have to see, I'm explaining to you the exact rules. This is how easy and simple they are. You have to see at least a counter arrow channel candle print and close, and that permissions you, if the reversal fails, to watch for the next buy channel to open up. And it's the same as that previous rule. You come in here, you buy a pullback signal line, 97 jams right up to 4409. There's another 10 ticks there. So here within within an hour and a half of trading, what a day, what a day. You've had 1, 2, 3, no trade here, second level trade here, 4. You've had 4 winning trades in a row within that first hour and a half for 8 to 10 ticks, or approximately, if you multiply that out by $10 a ticks, that's approximately 32 to 36 ticks. You multiply that out by 10 bucks, and that's how much you would have made minus the commission, which should average about $4.50 or so per contract. Shouldn't pay much more than that, but $5 or less, whatever. That's good. So that's a good little business to have. Now, if you had 2 contracts, it would have been double that amount. You could add close to a $700 day, and you're done for the day. So let's go on just a second more, and then I'll go ahead and wrap up this video. I just wanted to show you how marvelous crude oil is. Let me rapid fire go through some more trades that occurred here real fast. Matching dynamic trend bands, that's all you need, or crossing over. Up they go, winning trade. Matching dynamic trend, sell arrow, matching dynamic trend bands, pull back the signal line, Down they go. No matching dynamic trend bands here, no trade. Cross over here, but market is in a kind of whipsaw state where the red candles are coming in on the crossover, then leaping higher. Better to avoid these trades, wait for the next trade signal. Here's a dynamic trend, here's a sell channel opening up. Dynamic trend bands matching on this candle at 90. 90 comes down to 82 for 8 ticks there. You see that? Getting a little late in the day. You don't want to trade crude oil. My time on this chart, this is a Pacific Coast chart, or a, not Pacific Coast, but a West Coast chart. I'm there in Nevada, so you can see the add 3 hours for the East Coast. Here's another sell channel, matching dynamic trend bands. Down they go. But you're getting a little late in the day here for crude oil, so better to wait. Just again, rapid fire. I'm going to show you a bunch of the trades around the clock on crude oil. You start watching for trades at 5:45 my time, and you have the trades coming in. Here's one here for 10 ticks. Here's one here for 10 ticks. No trades in here, all whipsaw. Here's one here that you might have taken because there was the cross under. All the conditions were met there. So on this one, you might have gotten stopped out. Your entry would have been around 64. But when you get a green candle, immediately you go on alert. This green candle came up to 70 and then pulled back, and the arrow for a new trade channel started blinking. One of the simple rules I use in my live trade room is if that trade channel arrow starts blinking, I just exit the trade. The downside market force in this case was interrupted. We're out of the trade, probably around 69. So entry was around 64 and out around 69 to 70 for a small loss. However, immediately after that, a new buy channel opens. The dynamic trend bands match. Here's a pullback to the sig line here, and you get your 10 ticks. You got your loss back plus a few extra ticks. Here's a counter arrow, and then here they go into whipsaw, so no second trade here. You just need a little bit of live trading with me, and you'll be off and running in a potentially very excellent career trading the crude oil futures. Here's another winning trade here, matching dynamic trend bands. Here's another one right here. You see that? They're matching right on this candle or this candle. You buy them. Up they go for 8 to 10 ticks. And go and go and go. That happens with crude oil a lot. Here's a second level trade for 10 ticks. Here's a sell trade right here for 10 ticks. You see that? Here's a buy trade. Now this one here, we didn't get a match or cross over until all the signal line trades were pulled up or used up on the trade signal line here. We do have a modification rule that allows you to buy within 2 to 3 candles of this, a pullback to the Cobra. Very simple. I just explained it in one sentence, but that did not occur here. So you got to just sit and watch the market run up for a while, and that's just part of trading. No big deal. Here's another trade set up here. Pull back the signal line, and 58 comes down for 8 ticks there, down to 49. Bunch of choppiness. And this is actually a second level trade because there was no disruption of the dynamic trend number 2. So immediately after the sell arrow, we already did a bunch of these, so I'm not going to explain the rules again. You get a sell off here. You can see, look at all these winning trades on crude oil. It's absolutely astonishing. And I can go over days and days and days, and you'll see those. There's an average currently, I would say, of genuine setups that are following the rules and everything. An average right now is running about 4 on the very low end and maybe 4 to 7 a day, averaging maybe 5 to 6 trades a day. So you can see, if you consider that you're putting maybe like a $80 to $100 bill in your pocket on each winning trade on one contract, and you make 4, 5, 6 trades, it's a decent day and it's a decent living. And you can give yourself a raise anytime by just adding another contract. So that's what I wanted to show you today. I really want to thank you for watching this presentation, and email me if you have any questions, again at mohan@daytradersaction, and thank you very much.